Hey guys, what's up? It's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This is going to be of the Marvel Legends series, Target exclusive Infinity Saga series, as well as part of Iron Man 3 and whatnot. Happy Hogan and Iron Man Mark 21, aka Midas Armor 2-pack. To be quite honest, I wasn't really thinking about getting this box set. Prices of Marvel Legends have gone up, especially for this line right here, just like when they did the 10th anniversary MCU line a couple years ago. Those were getting a little bit expensive, but I really only wanted Happy. I would have gone on eBay just to get him. He probably would have been a little bit more expensive, but Target does have a sale occasionally, which happened recently. Either $50 in toy purchases gets you $10 off your order, $100 gets you $25 off. So I bought this as well as the Violator from McFarlane Toys. That'll be coming in soon. So I'm reviewing this, and both of these do look pretty cool. I'll use the Iron Man for my Hall of Armors, and I really wanted to see how this suit body looks for Happy here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. Top half, it does say Marvel Studios Iron Man 3. Top left, a choking hazard. Top right, Legends series. You have Marvel Studios again for the bottom half, and you got to see the figures already. Happy Hogan, Midas Armor, Iron Man Mark 21, Hasbro, ages 4 and up. And then the Avengers logo on this side here, it says Infinity Saga. You can see some of the characters and Avengers and whatnot. With some really cool colors going on there too in the Avengers logo. On this side here, some of the characters are repeating, like Captain America and Thor and whatnot, but some of them are different from the other side, like Doctor Strange and Iron Man and whatnot. Top here, just Iron Man 3, Happy, and Midas Armor again. Here's the back of the packaging. You can see the Iron Man poster right there. And just give you a quick wide shot. On the left here, there's the multilingual read-up for Happy if you want to pause and read that right now. Same thing for the Midas Armor right there if you want to pause and read that. And then on the bottom here, there's the barcode in case you need it. Let's go ahead and get this box set out of the packaging. Okay, so we have both figures out of the packaging. I think it's a pretty decent set. A few issues that I have with each individual figure, but overall, especially depending on how much you pay for it, I do think it's worth it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the reused figure, and it's going to be pretty quick, of the Midas Armor, and then we'll take more of a better look at Happy. Iron Man figures as of late come with these repulsor style hands, as you can see here. They shoot out the repulsors. There's some holes in the hands right there. These are pretty nicely detailed. Since this is pretty much a repaint of the Mark 7 figure, they're very much the same sculpt as those previous hands. No hinge for the wrist though, which that was changed later with some of the later Iron Man figures, which I'm glad they did that. I mean, it's not super horrible that there's no hinge here. They can still swivel, but a hinge does help with certain poses and whatnot. They're molded in this gold, and I think the gold looks okay. I do think it would be better, of course, if it had some actual paint apps. We do have two repulsor blast effects, which I have a ton of these by now. They're these light blue translucent pieces here. And simply take the hand, take the repulsor piece, stick it in the hand, goes in there just fine. So here is the Midas Armor, and if you own the Mark 7, you know what to expect. This is just time, it's all gold. Just looking at a lot of the nice details going on, lots of nice panels that have been sculpted from previously. I'm not going to go over it super in depth just because a lot of you probably own this by now. And if you don't, just a quick look. It's I think it's pretty accurate to how it, at least, the Mark 7 armor, how it looked in Avengers, and this here, it does look pretty good in all gold in the Midas Armor. There is some metallic silver and actually some metallic gold on here, but it's mostly molded in this gold, which doesn't match the painted gold, and I just feel like it looks a little too light, and it's just a little not glossy in the way it should be. Actually, it kind of looks matte in some areas, They just do this thing a lot with Marvel Legends where they don't want to paint it metallic, they mold it this way and it just doesn't look right most of the time. They even have some additional paint. I mean, there's probably different, variations of gold in the armor, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know. Adding some additional paint in certain areas could have gone a long way. I do think they actually painted the chest from what I can see, here, when I look at the crotch piece, that's definitely molded. Whereas the stomach, I think the stomach may be molded in a certain gold, but this definitely looks like it's painted. There is an arc reactor in there, which looks a little too bright, but it's a very bright blue with some white in there. Pretty much anywhere that's gray is painted, except for the joints and whatnot. In fact, or on here on the knees they're painted, but like this is molded in a gray right there. And again, there's just lots of great panels and whatnot. This is what the back looks like. When you lift these up, excuse me, you can see that they do pivot, or not really pivot. They just go, they hinge. That's the thing I'm trying to say. They have a little bit of, they show off a little bit of details, but there's not much going on in there. Like this is all just. Actually, you look inside. I forgot that they do have these details in here, so that is cool at least. Maybe some paint would have been a little bit cool. They also have these softer shoulder pieces that won't come off, but you really got to pull on them if you want to tear them off. They're not going to fall off pretty easily. We do have some sculpting, as you can see, on the elbow or the shoulder joints. And then nice lines going around the ribs. We get to the legs. You can see a lot of nice, intricate details and whatnot going on there. Again, more panels and whatnot. Stuff that looks like, not gears, but circular motion, moving type stuff and whatnot. There's some silver actually painted on the front, right here on the joint. I do believe that knee joint is also painted. If it is painted, it's probably ever so slightly. So the back, the knees look like, so they don't look too bad and whatnot. A little pointed out section here. There's what the shins are starting to look like, the back towards the calves. So the front looks like, and then the feet here, they look good, but they don't move very well, which I'll talk about in a second. At the top, that's what the sides look like. Definitely look like boots, how they're designed and whatnot. And then we do have the bottom here, which actually has lots of details. And we do have pegals at the bottom of the feet, so that's pretty cool. I didn't mention, but we do have repulsors sculpted in the hands for the fist, and the fingers, I think, look very nice and robot-like. Very cool. And I didn't really mention it, but the face sculpt's good. I think Iron Man face sculpts for Marvel Legends are pretty good. Like, there's not much I could complain about, especially the eyes. They did the eyes really well. I mean, it's just a very basic white, but no white going onto the gold, so that's pretty good. For basic articulation, it's very hard to hinge the head upward. I have a lot of problems doing so. There's something wrong with the plastic, so that's a big complaint. Is there's just some joints they just don't work right. Like, the head is going to pop off if I try. Like, this is not moving. It is very frustrating. Even heating it up with, like, boiling water or, a hair dryer, I don't really know how successful I'm going to be. So, that head just popped on the ground, so I have to grab that. I don't want to take too much time and whatnot. Pop the head back on is fine, though. Just to give you an idea, it will hinge. I cannot show you what it looks like right now. Sorry. That's just Hasbro's fault because the plastic just sucks. And then we do have a swivel there. We do have an in and out joint here. It's a bit ratchety. It can go forward and back. Upper arm swivel. That bruised my thumb. That's hilarious. We do have double joint elbows. We have a swivel at the wrist as well as a hinge. Backwards not great, and forward is it's okay. I think there's a lot of excess plastic in certain areas too. So I just feel like, detailing on this is fine, but I feel like the quality of the plastic for this particular piece is just not up to par. Hasbro's quality of plastic can be very iffy a lot of the times, I'll admit. But this is really taking the cake for me. But, we'll keep going. Not every part of this when it comes to plastic is horrible. The back is pretty okay. The forward's not really great. Side to side like so, and then a swivel. We do have legs that can go forward a little bit, but they want to rotate like this when you want to kick out more. That's how far it can go because of the armor piece. And then the back is actually pretty decent. In and out is pretty good. These are very gummy legs. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee, bend at the foot, which is pretty loose on both sides. Yeah, pretty well. This one's a little bit more stiff, but the swivel is also very ratchety and very stiff on this one here. So, yeah, I'm not super pleased with the quality of the plastic Okay, let's hopefully have some good luck with Happy. And we have a cell phone here which has a sticker on the screen, or actually it could be painted like this. There's red and green for, hang up or call and whatnot. There's just a line right there. It's probably going to say like Tony Stark or whatnot. I don't know. There's just a line in there. There is no actual words. This hand I thought was going to be too loose, but just ever so slightly push it in. I don't know if this was a reused, phone mold from Gwenpool when we got her a while ago, but this actually fits. Okay, never mind. I shook it earlier and it didn't want to fall out, but it can fit pretty okay in Happy's left hand. I'm sure you can make it look actually more tight and whatnot in the right hand. So here's an image of Jon Favreau with Happy, just to give you an idea of the likeness. I think it's pretty darn close. It looks really good to me, actually. This might be one of the closer likenesses we've had with the Marvel Legends, face printing MCU line and whatnot. I think it looks really good. So Happy, as you can see here, his expression may not be happy, but of course, when does he ever really smile that much? But it's a very, very good Jon Favreau likeness. I think they did a really good job with the printing in the eyes. There's a little bit of color like in the wrinkles and whatnot. And the lip color is pretty good. The hair is just a very basic black mold, but the actual sculpting is pretty decent on it. You get the ears and whatnot. I feel like the head, let's back out, you can see the body. Now, I know Jon Favreau and Happy, he's supposed to be a pretty big guy. Not super big, but decently big. But the neck, I feel like, though, it's just sitting a little too low. You could easily fix that if you wanted to. It's on a ball. This dumbbell joint, as you can see here, popped off pretty easily. Don't know what kind of head swapping you can do with this. Haven't played around with that yet. You may want to half it on here a little bit if that's possible. It's a little bit harder for heads like this. If I pull it up a little bit, I think, to me, that's a little bit better. And then, let me just ruin it for you. Yeah, that makes all the difference, I think, honestly. There's also, because it sits low, it kind of wants to move up when it goes across the collar and whatnot. I will bring out a suit body in a second, don't worry. We have this tie, which, I don't know. This is probably actually, from what I've seen, a new tie sculpt. This is not, because just the texture alone, it looks like, I won't say leather, but it definitely does not look more glossy than the other ties. And this is also a flatter tie, too. We have this nice coat here. The chest. This is definitely new. I've not seen the way these pockets have been sculpted before, going on in the shirt right there. I feel like the shirt's a little too bright on camera, so I'm turning down the brightness a little bit on mine. There's wrinkles and whatnot, of course. Nice collar, done pretty well. Skin tone's pretty consistent on the neck there. I believe it's a separate piece glued in there, so I'm cool with that. That's what the back looks like, as you can see with this coat. Some parts I feel like some minor imperfections with the actual plastic to make it look a little glossy in some areas, but not too bad. There's something going on where there's a weird wrinkle. You see this white, there's some white stretching going on there. That's unfortunate. You're not going to notice the back too much though. And I also think that these arms haven't been used yet. If you want to use you want a buffer character with some coat arms, these could probably be a good substitute. There are some buttons sculpted on there. Nice wrinkles and a nice seam line going on there. On the back of the arms. This is for both sides too. Now these hands are definitely reused. We've gotten these hands before with plenty of different characters and suit bodies. And I believe they used to not be removable hands, but we do have removable hands for this one here. Pretty much the same hands for what we got with Mobius and whatnot that I recently reviewed. We do also have some pockets on the blazer. Not really a blazer, it's a coat. You have to call it, not really call it. I don't know the ins and outs and whatnot of a coat, But you got these parts here that are also nicely sculpted with a nice collar. Now we get on to the bottom half. We do have a nice silver buckle. There's some minor paint going on there, but it's not mismatched or anything. It's pretty nicely placed, so that's good. I do like how the belt looks. It actually looks separate from the rest. Sometimes the belt is, when it's molded onto like a suit body, sometimes it just looks all like one piece. It actually looks like a different piece. And there's even this little flap there for the belt. And it's a belt hole sculpted on there. Now when you look on the back, I'm going to have to weirdly rotate his torso, but we do have a pocket sculpted. Very nice thin line, seam line going all the way down the buttocks. Now, one thing I do want to talk about the most is the legs. Now, these are, of course, a lot of this is new, but we have pinless tech on the legs. These look good, I think. At least, from the side, I think they look really good. They have these nice seam lines with some wrinkles and whatnot. The only thing, though, look how blocky these knees are. I don't think that's too much of a problem for me personally until, let's start bending them. Yeah, a lot of the times Marvel Legends knees do look kind of weird, but these also look a bit weird as well. Looks blocky at the upper thigh swivel as well. But, pretty good range of motion as you saw there. And we have these really big, I wouldn't say exaggerated, but they're pretty, pretty decent, wrinkles and cuffs, or at the cuffs, excuse me. Yeah, these nice glossy boots. I don't know if they've been reused. Would not to blame them if they reused them. Could be new for all I know. I don't think I've seen these before. There are some laces actually sculpted on there, so that's pretty cool. What the bottom of the feet look like. Not as much detail as the Midas Armor, of course. There's some printing right there. Those are the back of the legs look like. These very long joints are slightly hidden just because it's all one color. So, you guys have already seen Midas, of course, but I didn't do a 360 for him. I'm sick of him right now. But I'll do a 360. Again, I need to get a rotating action figure base. If you guys had a penny for every time I said that, you probably have like 16 pennies. Articulation, though, is pretty decent. You have a dumbbell head, as you saw, can pivot like this. Up is actually pretty good. Down is okay. Side to side is decent. I don't know if we have a butterfly joint. If there is, I don't really know if there is. I just cannot tell. But we do have in and out, which that's as far out as it goes, which is a little disappointing, but a lot of the suit bodies, I think this is better than some suit bodies, I think. Or it could be the same, not entirely sure. But it just doesn't feel as stiff as those suit bodies. Arms go all the way around. Upper arm swivel. We do have a double jointed elbow there. That gets a pretty good bend. A swivel at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist is for both sets of hands. You have an ab crunch. The coat kind of gets in the way, but you can still do some stuff with it. Forgot to mention there's also this nice line here for the, sculpted for the buttons and whatnot on the white shirt. It kind of fades into, a smooth piece here for the sculpt, but that's fine. If the sculpt might get in the way otherwise. That's the forward right there. Legs, pretty good splits. Forward like this. Back, not really at all. We do have upper thigh swivel. Double joint knees that I already showed off. We do have a hinged, which actually bends down like this. But that does look a little unnatural. Forward. I mean, I don't hate it, We do have a side to side. You could kind of see where the pants, meet the boot. But to me, it kind of looks like all one piece. So that's a little weird. Pretty decent articulation. So here's a variation of different suit bodies we've gotten in Marvel Legends throughout the years. A bunch of them pretty much use the same body molds or reused parts and whatnot. Happy is going to be the tallest out of them. The second tallest is going to be the Loki figure because it does use legs that are from the Captain Marvel series Nick Fury, which is a bit of a taller figure as well. Now, we do have the Iron Man Midas Armor here with some other figures as well as Happy. On the left, that's a kit-bashed Tony Stark with a 2016 head on a Stan Lee body. And then we actually have the Retro Collection Spider-Man, which is actually going to be pretty tall compared to the rest of these here. The tallest, of course, is going to be the Midas Armor out of all of them. So overall, I'm a bit disappointed with this set, not going to lie. I'm not super duper disappointed. I think I'd be a lot more pissed if I paid the full price of like 50 plus bucks. But I did save some pretty good savings because of the Target sale for this. And again, this is a Target exclusive. That's really the only way you can get this. The Happy figure is very good. I don't know if it's going to be worth the price of admission alone for this whole thing here. But the new parts are pretty awesome. The reused parts are fine. It's just mostly the hands, maybe the shoes. Not entirely sure. They could be new too. Head sculpts are really good. And I'm excited to see what they do with it in the future. It's going to be on the new Retro Collection Hammerhead. So if you don't really care about getting Happy and just need this new suit body, I would wait till the Hammerhead comes out. The Midas Armor is a bit of a letdown, not gonna lie. I know it sounds very nitpicky and very complaining and whatnot, but I mean, again, this is a $50+ set. And if you're gonna pretty much give us a figure, I know we've got this figure sculpted before, But that was really good last time. I didn't have any problems with it. And now with this here, it just seems like there's way more problems. Like the really tight head joint, the really mangled right arm, some of the paint not being, the silver and, not silver, the gold not being consistent. The silver parts on here are consistent. I don't know. I'm just a bit disappointed and whatnot. It's pretty expensive for what they want you to pay for. So please keep that in mind. I do recommend getting this on sale if you can. If, again, you don't need the Happy itself and just want the suit body, wait for Hammerhead. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figures, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends, follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.